All right, shalom, brothers and sisters. This is your brother Kazak Yah, and I have a word for the Christian community. Okay, my word is this: you all need to stop worshiping Donald Trump. Okay, because if you believe in the God that you say you believe in, that you serve, and you got power. This is the Paula White. This is the not Creflo. I don't see where he's speaking out. Kenneth Copeland, Sid Roth, Pat Robertson. This guy, what's his name? Hank something. And the firemen, the so-called prophet firemen, and all of them. If you got power, right, then you would believe that the greatest miracle is not overturning the election. The greatest miracle is praying for those who you believe are not saved, like, because most of you in the Christian community believe that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are demons and devils and not saved. They need to be saved. So if you believe that you got power, then why not pray that the God that you serve turns their heart towards him, that they become what? Believers, and then they can turn things around in favor of righteousness, because you're going in direct violation in the Bible that you believe in, which says to pray for those in authority. And I know you say, well, Trump is in authority, so we're praying. Trump, according to the election, has been voted out. And I know you say, well, no, there's been election fraud, voter fraud. It has not. It's been disproved in the courts. And the people, the machines and so forth, has been proven that the ballot counts matches the machines. So how can you say there's been voter fraud when everything that the Team Trump election team, legal team throws at the court system gets thrown out because the courts are saying that there's no evidence of fraud? Okay. Now, with that said, it does not mean that there are not some cases where there are some foul play involved, but not enough to overturn the election, because no system is foul proof, right? You're gonna have some mishaps with the election process because humans are operating the system. Okay, but there's no mass fraud happening to where a computer is pushing thousands of votes from Trump to Biden. Okay? But you believe that because you have fallen for the conspiracy theory, and the dangers of that is this. If you fall for conspiracy theory and you don't teach the Bible that you say you believe in, then you will find the need to have to manipulate the process to make a result come to pass that you want to see versus what the Creator in heaven and earth has proclaimed. The end has already been written. Okay? So, the Most High, according to the prophet Daniel, puts up who he puts up. So, if that is the case, then according to this election, and there is no massive fraud, I don't care what you say, I don't care who intellectual. If you look at the fact that all of these witnesses that are coming forward are Trump supporters. And I know a select few say, well, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden Trump supporter. But the mass majority, the key witnesses, that they put on the stage to give their testimony, if you follow them, if you Google every last one of them, you find their account, or you find a Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, you will find they are Trump supporters. That ought to tell you something right there. And the only people that believe that the election was fraud, that the election was stolen, are Trump supporters. You can't find a non-Trump supporter that don't believe, or that believe that the election was fraud, stolen. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. I am a citizen of the United States, and I vote according to how I feel on the big scale. The candidate who I see on a whole scale will be better for the nation. Okay. Unfortunately, many of you Christians vote based off of the two scale, gay marriage and abortion. Those are two issues out of a whole manual of issues that we as citizens have to deal with. Okay? So when you make your decision based off of those two decisions, you already are down, because what about all the other things? People say, well, I embrace Trump's agenda. I believe in his policies, right? Well, his policies on what? And I want to give you a rude awakening. Donald Trump is not anti-LGBT. So you can throw that out the window, right? Secondly, Donald Trump is not anti-abortion. He himself, when he campaigned, he said what? He'll leave that up to the states. So what is that saying? He's letting them make the decision, right? That's more in line with the Bible than forcing somebody to do what you want them to do. Even the Most High will never force his creation to do what he wants them to do. He gives you the right to choose. Choose life or death. He says, I put before you life or death, blessings, right? Curses. Choose life that you might live. So that's what the Bible supports. But we got those that I have my spiritual views according to what the scriptures say. I support what the scripture says, but at the same time, I support the scripture. I support the scripture's methodology, which gives people a choice to choose who they're going to serve. And in the end, when the judgment comes, that person will be judged on the basis of their choice. All you can do as a preacher is preach the word and let the chips fall where they may. You can't make people serve the Most High. You can't make people do right. People have the right and the privilege to make a decision and choice as to whether they want to serve the Most High or whether they want to live life as they choose. And at the end, when Judgment Day comes, like I said, just to kind of repeat what I just said, every man's going to be judged for their own works, right? So with that said, I'll leave you with this here. The reason behind here's the real reason behind the Christian evangelicals, why they're so gung-ho about Trump getting a second term, is simply because of the fact of this man named Clement or Clement, however you pronounce his name. I don't know who he is. All I know is that because I left the Christian arena in about 2004 maybe. So I've been 16 years out of the Christian circle, Christian community. And during those days, back in the early 2000s, right after 9/11 happened, they started a movement called 911 Truth. And it had various different segments of it, but then this one particular person became like the chief leader. And that person is none other than Alex Jones. InfoWars 911 Truth was like the parent, but he kind of took the lead. And so Alex Jones started spitting out conspiracy theories about the Illuminati, about the morals and dogma of Freemasonry, and the bringers of the light, Jabulan, the ancient land of Atlantis, and then you got the Nephilim theories, the antediluvian people, another person, David Icke, and the list goes on. Because I was into that circle, because when I started teaching on spiritual warfare, that's what came out of in my research. That's what I was directed to the conspiracy people who taught about the Albert Pike and the 3 World Wars and all of that. Okay, so now I'm saying it to say this: Kim Clement linked and connected to that 9/11 truth, and so did Donald Trump. So Donald Trump's candidacy came as a result of the conspiracy, and we need a leader to end the people who are attempting to steal our liberties and to destroy our world. And Alex Jones believed that if we got a leader in office, that we could stop the New World Order. And that's what it really is all about. So the Christian community embraced Donald Trump, and afterwards Donald Trump announced that he was going to run. I remember Donald Trump on the show, on Alex Jones' show, where Alex Jones said that he was his candidate. So I'm going to end this video now, but I will come back and finish my thought.